Hey everybody, welcome back to Swahili Nation, Swahili to the world. This is your boy Mika, MC, and with Asali. Yes. At the beginning of this video is a little bit different today because we're not gonna do reaction for the video, but we have something that we want to talk about. There's a topic that we want to discuss.
It's very complex.
Exactly.
And of course, what we say, we're always open for different opinions, and since we're open for opinions, we're also giving our opinions on this certain matter that's very complex. It's intertwined with so many different areas in the society and in the cultural aspect as well.
It's a sensitive topic right now, especially here in Korea. And I think you've already seen in the title of this video, so you know exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about blackface in Korea. And it's because of the recent incident that I guess like 3 weeks ago that happened here in Korea in one of the high school students that they kind of have traditional to come up with different kind of creativity at the end of their school.
This specific high school is
Exactly.
known for that.
Yes, for a while now,
Yes.
right? This high school has been famous for a long time because it's been having kids who are very smart, very creative, coming back with a lot of things that they become viral, you know, here in South Korea.
It's like their stress reliever, yeah.
Exactly. A little bit background of me is I've been living in Korea for 8 years, and I've graduated here, you know, in university and work a little bit, and then quit, and now I'm doing this for living.
Yes.
So I'm showing you background so that you may understand that some part of me, I understand Korean culture to some extent, and I feel like this is the beautiful topic to talk about because one of the things that is gonna help us to move where we are to go to another place is the communication.
That's right.
It's communicating with one another, and especially uncomfortable conversation like this.
It's needed as much as it's uncomfortable, as much as it's a hot topic.
Exactly.
It needs to be spoken about.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how comfortable you are, because your future generation and our generation right now, we're going through this, and we gotta work through this. And that's why the series is called The Common Ground.
The Common Ground. And why the Common Ground? Is because you want to find the common ground, the place where like you as a Korean and me as an African will reach to the same level of understanding. Maybe you might not understand me, I might not understand you, but then that's why we have conversation.
We're equal.
Yes, and we gotta be comfortable to talk about uncomfortable issues, you know what I mean? Like, okay, sometimes it might be uncomfortable, but we still need to try, because the conversation is what begins with the solving problems that are facing us.
That's right.
Alright.
Oh, and to give a little background about myself, where he studied in Korea, whereas he did, I actually studied abroad under the American education system. So I grew up abroad, therefore I was already exposed to diversity, which I call it a blessing. So regarding that background and regarding the education that I got in an American system, I just can't wait. I'm very excited. We're both super excited to be able to cover on this particular topic.
Exactly. So let's dive in right away. So let's talk about what happened.
What happened here is this specific high school named Ujeongbu High School. The kids were some of the group of kids were graduating, and they decided to do a parody. It's their thing as they do a graduation album. So they did a parody on dancing pallbearers. I actually didn't know what it was, but it's a Ghanaian way of...
It's one of the viral.
Yeah, it's viral.
Dancing with the coffin.
Yes, in
You can actually see a little clip right here.
Yeah, I didn't know about this, and anyways, they used this idea to parody it, and they put a blackface. They went to a point where they actually did blackface. So this famous celebrity here in Korea who represents the African continent as a Ghanaian, he criticized on his Instagram regarding the situation on blackface.
I think everybody has right to share opinion about whatever matter that it's it's happening in the society or whatever. I think that is the safe place to be when you are free to share your opinion about something that is happening in the society or something whether you like or you don't like. Sometimes when we like people, we share a lot about it, and when we don't like, we have to be comfortable to share about that. This is the most important thing for you guys to understand, that it's a common ground. So we don't want to take any other side. Like, I don't want to take this side, she don't want to take that side, but we are going to the common ground. We are sitting down as just human beings, as Mika, as Sally, and thinking about the situation and what happened and what do we think, in our opinion, that would have been done better. As I told you, that I've been living here for a long time, for like 8 years, and I've seen incidents like this a couple of times. And I've seen, for example, in the comedy show, long time ago, like these celebrities are wearing, blackface, and at that time I was a little bit surprised. I mean, seeing that and seeing it in a national television.
It's
so
like, really?
Yeah, so I was like, oh, wait a little bit. Like, I feel like I see something related, like it looks like me, but it's not really me. You know what I mean? And people, they were laughing, they were having a good time. So that time it was, I think they received a lot of criticism. So what happened is, I haven't seen that again. I mean, again on the national television.
Not as much, yeah.
Yes, exactly, not like before. But recently this came, and this is what Samuel Chill, posted. He posted like in Korean and in English. In Korea, I don't understand fully Korean, but we translated it, and I've heard from other Korean people that the way the message that it was written in Korea, it was basically him pointing out to the problem, how it happened. For example, it's like English, it's so unfortunate and sad to see something like this in 2020. It's not funny. This is a very offensive act to us black people. Please don't do it. I understand copying the culture, but did you really have to color your face? I wish these acts don't happen in Korea. The best thing is to understand each other's culture, and if there's an opportunity, I would like to converse with them. So the Korean side of what he wrote, it was understandable, and according to the sources that I've checked it out, because I had to go through a lot of sources before doing this video, to be precise, and to go through the news and everything, all the research, to know what happened. People here in Korea, they didn't really have a problem with the Korean side, but they had a problem with English side, because in this post, Asan, he wrote in English and in Korean, but in the English side, there's two different words that he used that is not appearing in the Korean text. That is education and also ignorance. And I want us to talk about that, because
let's do it.
Yes, because as someone who's speaking Korean, you understand that sometimes there's a word that if you use in Korean, it might sound harsh, or it might be taken out of the context.
Yes.
But the meaning, some people, they say that the English side has been very offensive, the way it has happened. But I want to hear just your opinion. Forget about what everybody else is saying. You reading that, what do you get from that, and what do you think?
What do I get from this English side?
From the English side. You say time and time again, why when people get that blackface is very offensive and not funny at all? There have been so many instances, both on and off air, where people paint their faces black here in Korea and think it's funny. It's not. And I'm highly against it and highly disappointed. You put it in so much effort to educate people here in Korea and make them understand that you can appreciate a culture without making mockery of the people. This has to stop in Korea. This ignorance cannot continue.
I kind of wish he also added the part where he wants to converse with the high schoolers in English as well, because that shows that he's open to let them know in person, like these particular kids, especially they're young, so he's willing to use this status as a celebrity and tell them, effectively influence them, like, hey, this is not good.
For me, when I see this, I feel like he was not translating exactly what he shared
in Korean
into English. So there are a lot of people who got offended that why would you add these two words in English? Do you think that we don't understand English? But for me, the way that I see that it's true, he wrote in Korean and he wrote in English, but he wrote in Korean because he wanted to speak with the Korean society, those people who do not understand English. And the English side, at the beginning, if you see at the beginning, he's talking about why people don't get blackface is very offensive, it's not funny, there's been so many incidents both here and there. So he's talking about as a third person why people don't get this. He's talking in the third person. But when you go in the second part of the message, he's talking about himself, that you put in so much effort to educate people here in Korea. That is talking about him.
Yeah.
That for all these years, what he has been
done.
doing, yes, to educate people here in Korea about racism things and make them understand that you cannot appreciate a culture without making mockery. That's what he has been trying to do for all these years of the people. This has to stop in Korea. This ignorance cannot stop.
Okay, so in my perspective, there are a few things to point out. First of all, Sam is more comfortable in speaking English, so he can deliver it clearly. And English, this language itself, you could be direct, especially when you're pointing out something. There are ways you can, like there are words you can use that exactly points that part.
Yeah, remember right now we're just giving opinion about what he say, and at the end we'll give our personal opinion
about this
right now about the message. Exactly.
And him using Korean, of course, like Korean, when you speak to the public,
it's
it naturally becomes respectful.
Yeah, it's because
like,
of this hierarchical thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you always have to be polite
Yeah.
when you speak Korean with the majority.
And I don't know, man. I think I totally agree with him, and I know that I know Korea hasn't been exposed to this foreign culture, not from pop culture, from real human beings.
Looking at the second part of the message, because this is where exactly this is where people they really got off. Look at the second part. For me, it's true that reading at this part, I feel frustration. You put so much effort to educate people here in Korea, and I gotta admit that even personally, sometimes I felt that, because I've done a lot of jobs like this.
Yes,
I mean, going to teach about culture and classes. I've done this in 8 years. I've done so many. I cannot even. It's countless of them. I've done that, and I faced so many things that some of them they broke my heart. Some of them they gave me so much joy. All those sides. So I understand this part of him being frustrated that I put so much effort on this time to educate people here. So this is the word that really touched people. That educate, like. You came here to Korea and we did all these things, this and this and this for you. How dare you think that you can educate us?
Since Korea developed in a short period of time, in 60 years after World War II, actually after the North Koreans invaded, we developed too fast in a short period of time compared to the regular, process. So I think at times there's a tendency as a Korean, even myself sometimes, I'm proud to be. There's this pride in me that I am Korean. Yes, we are educated because we are known for our education. Because in Korea, naturally we strive for education. Education becomes your life goal, your achievement. So I think that's why people were offended with pride, because like, who are you to educate me?
I gotta say that one side of me that do understand the Korean people reaction, the way they react, and why I do understand that, because I've been thinking about this, like me as a Tanzanian, like I've spoke about this in the in the TV before that I've done. When like, what about like things that have been shown on television, for example, about Africa all the time, right? They show about like Africa, all this like old stuff, like 50 years ago stuff that they're not showing it exactly. So as a person, if somebody is talking bad things about my country, of course, as a patriot, as somebody who patriot toward my country, I'll feel bad, and I'll be like, who are you, to talk about this? Who are you? Like that would be the initial reaction of what I would say when I see like somebody saying something about my country. But then on the other side of that, what I don't realize is that everybody has a right to say something, because you don't know where, like, what is the initial point, like where this person is coming from. And for example, for this word in English, it's not offensive at all.
Yeah.
Like if I say that, oh, I put so much effort to educate people about this, it doesn't sound offensive. But if you change this word into Korean, that's when like everything changes. Like the message of this word, it changes everything.
The notation it has in a Korean word is deep.
Exactly. So when you hear that, you're like, oh, who are you? Are you like you think you're higher than me? Like if you change it into Korea, but looking at this contents at this, I mean the way that he wrote, I understand. As an English, if I read this, okay, this ignorance cannot continue. The meaning, the meaning behind in this context is not in the meaning that
you're degrading someone.
Exactly. It's not about degrading someone. It's basically saying that, you're
blind.
like people, they don't know about these things. Basically, it means ignorance. It means you don't know about it. It doesn't mean that you're dumb. Some people, they took it as a dumb. You are, you're like you don't have anything. You're out of your mind. No, but ignorance is you not being aware of something.
That's right.
Exactly, and that's why up there he said, "Oh, I've been educating people over and over and over again." And then here at the end, I said, "This ignorance has to stop," because the reason why receiving education is to remove that ignorance part of us. So if I'm not educated about a certain thing, if I am ignorant, but it doesn't mean that I am dumb. It simply means that I'm not aware of what is happening, like what I'm doing that is wrong. I'm not aware of that. And that's why he said, like, I've been educating so many people, and said this ignorance has to stop. Basically saying, in the Korean text, he say, I'm open, for the conversation about this. It means that I'm open to educate, about this particular issue. Exactly, and that's what it has been.
The tough thing is, don't get me wrong, I do understand how Koreans understood this as well, because the word ignorance in Korean, if you translate it into Korean, it means you're dumb.
Yeah, exactly. If you translate
literally
exactly word, it
means you're hopeless. It means you're just lost case. So I think Koreans, if they just knew about this English context as well as they know the Korean context, and they were comfortable enough to accept it, I think it would have been different. And the thing is, I have to point out, Sam is actually the cultural ambassador of Korea.
Exactly.
And I personally think he did a good job pointing this out, because that's
his job.
Yeah, exactly. So you're a cultural ambassador, and this is culturally offensive to Africans and African Americans.
A lot of response, as we say, a lot of people, they were really hurt by this, and I feel like this is the power of the media, because imagine if you see this and you say something. Everybody else, I feel like even there's other people who they do not really understand the deep meaning of what's going on. But because somebody, for example, firsthand, if you hear something from me right now, maybe you hear it right. But if you talk to somebody else, they will receive it different. And if they speak to somebody, they'll receive it. And at the end of the day, the last person who will hear this, they will hear it totally different. Think about this when you tell somebody, "Oh, I saw someone chill. He posted something on his page. He was calling us racist. He was saying this. That's what is going on." And right now, media is involved. So media is and you know what happened right now?
It's like a snowball rolling down.
Exactly.
It keeps getting.
Exactly. So the response, from a lot of people, they were very, negative about what he said. And there's so many reasons. Some reason is just like, how dare you say something like this? We helped you all this time to where you are right now.
Like,
and now you
think say that?
Exactly. And now you think you're above us. Do you think you can educate us? And other opinion, other people, they've been saying that. When you look at this. What this kid they're innocent, they didn't do anything wrong.
They copied it so right.
Exactly, they did it so well. And even the owner of that thing, of this whatever it is, it's called, he actually reposted it on his Instagram, and he said, Ijombu High School, congratulations on your graduation. So they're like, who the heck are you to get mad?
Yeah, even the original creator wasn't offended.
Exactly, so, and he reshared it, and he shared with love. Who are you to get offended? And then, so because of that, couple days later after that, Samuel Chill had to write his apology, official apology on his Instagram, which was very long and it was only in Korean, and it raises other topics. That how come you only apologize in Korean? And I feel like, you know, people are feeling like, oh, you apologize in Korean because you don't want other people, like other Western people, to see what you're talking about. How, like, why are you posting in Korean? So it became a bigger issue as well.
And I gotta say something about the Korean culture. We're very influenced with the Confucius teachings. So it's important how you look in front of other people, like how you're portrayed to others. So Koreans are especially more mad in the Confucius perspective because they think Sam just basically painted a back picture about Koreans and how they're a bunch of racists and us being insensitive.
All right, that was, you know, his apology, but which later on right now he had to turn down his Instagram because after some times a lot of people, they started to dig down deep of his past, things that happened long time ago.
They found dirt on it.
Exactly. And it became a national news. So basically everything that happened from that, which I don't want to talk about it was actually just, we want to take this guy down. And some of them decided to write a petition to deport him, which a couple people, they voted, but it was not, you know, successful because of the law and everything. And not a lot of people, you know, signed it. Yeah, I gotta say that there's a majority of people who are actually behind Sam Ochil and what he did, and think that no, this is not wrong. This is just him expressing his feelings and what he felt about this situation. But then it has been hard for them coming public, you know, because of, you know, again, public, you know, some of the media, they try to talk about him and to kind of like, you know, explain about his side, but then they get attacked as well. So everybody right now is kind of like chill, and, you know, it's like, you know, like, oh, I don't want to interfere this, you know, because of all those kind of things that happen. But anyway, so we just want to give our honest opinion about this situation that happened, and what we think, and, you know, what she thinks, and everything, like, in both sides, because we're trying to find a common ground. So I don't want you guys to be like, oh, this again, they're gonna talk about this. No, we really want to find a common ground, because we really do believe that if we understand one another in all ways, maybe in a few ways, it's impossible to understand each other in all ways, maybe we'll be able to make this place a better place for
At least we're trying.
Exactly.
So I just want to point out how the Korean public is using the creator's response as a blade to, you know, attack Sam. And the thing is, I read a lot of articles, and what I know correctly is I don't think the creator is aware enough, or he understood that they are high school students. I don't want to know why, but I don't think in Ghana racism towards Africans is serious, because it's Africa.
Yeah, it's an issue. That's one of the things I think that people, they have to know. Like, if I was thinking myself, if I saw this when I was in Tanzania, I would have been, you know,
you would see this as a good support.
Like a funny thing. That, this is really funny. But because I'm not aware, people back there, they're not aware of racism. Like, when you talk about racism, they don't know, because they are surrounded, but everybody is Tanzanian there. Like, everybody is black. I mean, most of them, to be honest. So they have no idea what is racism, to be honest. Like, just like the word he used, that ignorance, I would say the same thing back home. That people, they're not aware that, oh, black people, they have been, you know, they've been kind of like isolated in some side. They have no idea. But us, because we are living here and we are minority, we understand this better because we're experiencing it almost every single day. So we know that, oh, this is the act of racism. But if you go back home, people, they don't really know. So we cannot rely on what this guy did, because he has no idea. And I think if he had an idea, he wouldn't have done this if he knew about it. But he didn't really. It's not a thing that we know back home.
And the thing is, Sam is basically being a scapegoat for this social issue, because he pointed it out. And the thing is, if I went through his post, this creator's, his name is Benjamin Aidu, and there are other parody videos from Korea that didn't do blackface, and yet he still thanked them.
Yeah, they did exactly the same thing, and this blackface. Why is it considered as a racism?
Okay, so the reason why this is so sensitive now globally around the world, especially now, is because it has a deep history. It has a deep-rooted history that hurt many people just because of the skin of their color. I mean, you know, it came to the point where in the 1800s, I believe, there's this law in America named Jim Crow law, and this Jim Crow law was basically legalizing being racist towards African Americans, that you can stereotype them, that you can just you know, degrade them. And the thing is, the Jim Crow is just a persona in a comedy world. So a white comedian basically did blackface and then acted as an African, and during that time he acted as an African slave, degrading how lazy they are, how, you know, how they're always sleeping and drunk and violent, like all those stereotypes. He did it. So so based on this law, like, it became legal. I mean, think about it.
Wow.
Think about how just because of the skin of your color,
I feel sorry for my ancestors.
It is legal for anybody to not treat you as an equal human being.
Right.
So that's one of the examples. And the thing is, guys, we live in 2020. Sam said it right. It's to the point where even the people in a high position. For example, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he did a brown face to parody the Arabian Nights. You know, I believe it was a Halloween party, I think. And he basically, this was spoiled, like this was spilled out in last year, I believe. And so he came out and apologized for it. And not only the high officials, but also in the fashion industry, in Gucci, they came up with literally blackface
hoodie.
Sweater.
Can you imagine a sweater?
Blackface sweater. Like,
why not other color? Why black?
And the thing is, they also apologized.
I remember a lot of people back then, they kind of like burned their Gucci. I remember even 50 Cent, he burned all of his Gucci clothes. It was like we're not going there anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and this is obviously, like, some people who are not aware, like, oh, how is this blackface? It's just a sweater with lips. Well, think about the emphasis that's put here. You know, big lips and black color, and even other fashion industries like Moncler, this jacket, and also Prada for this monkey trinkets.
Even I remember even last year H&M, they actually made one sweater of one kid. He was a little kid, and that sweater was written, "I am a monkey." You remember? It was a big deal. Like, those guys, they had to apologize. I remember it was H&M. They had to apologize, and a lot of celebrities, they actually reshared that picture and written, "I am a king," and then they put like a crown on him. So it was a big thing. So this thing has been having a long history, like the way that Asali explained from the very beginning. So this is why the blackface, it's actually wrong. It's an act of racism, doing a blackface.
It's discrimination.
Exactly, it's discrimination, and also it's an act of racism. And why we are saying this is because we want to bring that awareness that I know right now, just through this incident, a lot of people now they understand. But surprising after that, and after what Samuel Chill did, so many kids, they began to do the same thing. And they were attacking him. So they were attacking him, they were doing the same thing, blackface, everybody, just to piss people to pieces, like everybody do that. So that's really surprising, which is sad. But just talking about my personal opinion, is that maybe, let's say maybe you don't know what you're doing. If these kids, they didn't know that this is an act of racism, and they're high school kids, they're old enough, then they have teachers who actually saw this event happen even before taking maybe this fiction, whatever, they had opportunity to tell them that, hey, kids, no, I mean, I know you just want to entertain people, but this, it's offensive to another side of race, like the black side of race. It's offensive, and it's an act of racism, so you cannot do this. Like, it didn't have to come on the internet to be shown like this, because we can say that this kid, they didn't know. All right, let's say they didn't know, but they have teachers, and teachers, they approved of this. They saw it.
There's a reason why they're called students. They're willing to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one, I think, because it's something that has been happening a lot here in Korea for a long time, and people have been actually talking about it, and I think it's very important to reach to the point where we respect each other. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Because you cannot expect me not to get offended if you do something like this.
Yeah.
You cannot expect me to be offended if you call me a monkey. You cannot accept that I'll be okay. Like, I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna be offended. No. And one thing that I think we have to realize that for something like this, first of all, it's an act of racism. Just as simple as clear. It's an act of racism, and it's not supposed to be tolerated, and it's not supposed to be done. You know what I mean? And if we are not doing that, then we'll see the reaction. Because we are talking about Samuel Chill, and you know how many great things he have done for all these years for Korea. He went to Ghana, he went to different countries, and everybody knows him as a representative from Korea. Like, people, they know, they love Korea from Africa simply because of this one guy who actually introduced the good side of Korea wherever he goes. Exactly. So I think even this accident that's happened, I think we really need to deal with this issue with so much compassion and understanding that I think he has right to react the way he reacted, because this is very personal. Even for me, I'll tell you the truth, guys. Even for me, I'll react the same thing. First time I saw this, I was pissed off. I'll just be honest. I was really pissed off. You know, I was really pissed off about it, and that's why I feel like it's not just enough to be pissed off. I can be pissed off and I can say something, but it's good to have a conversation like
putting
this.
feelings, those initial feelings aside.
Exactly.
That's why I just wish that Koreans would stop victimizing themselves, because yes, I said it, I think Koreans are victimizing themselves. Also, additionally to that, this herd mentality, this like a snowball. Everybody now, like a few group of people started hating on him, and now almost the whole society is hating on him, to the point that he's being canceled on shows, on different commercials, and he even deleted his Instagram to that point.
It didn't have to get this far.
And he even had to apologize for it.
To apologize. Which to be honestly, I did not believe first time when I was saying to my friend, she was like, why did he apologize?
Yeah.
For what reason? But then I understand. At the same time, I cannot judge him, because I understand the pressure that he's into. Actually, when this incident happened, I remember personally, I sent him personal message on Instagram. And I sent him personal message to encourage him that, hey, you know, we are with you. I am with you. I understand. Like, because, I mean, in this situation, honestly, if I'm gonna be you know, like this towards him, and who is gonna be on his side? And I don't just want to pick because, you know, I'm black, I want to be on his side, but because this issue touches me as well. Because this is what annoys me a lot of time. You know what I mean? It annoys me a lot of time. And actually, you might be wondering, who is this guy and what are you talking about? I talked about this. I talked about this in the television shows I went. I talked about this in a couple, you know, things that I had. I talked about this all the time. And some of them that I talked about it, they actually cut it out. And later on I went to talk to them again, the writers, and I said, hey guys, if you're asking me questions about racism and you don't want to show it, you remember, and you don't want to show it.
Ask for it in the first place.
Yeah, don't ask me, because you go to the interview, people, they want to know, okay, what kind of racism you experienced. I'm sharing everything with them, and then they're not showing it. Then I was like, hey, if you want to change society and you want to educate society, then you better put it there. But I want everybody to understand that I am not attacking Korean society. That's not the reason why we're attacking. So even if you guys are watching this video right now and you're going to comment, I want you to be very careful of what you're going to say, because the reason of us talking this is not to attack to attack this society. We
Yes.
know, I've been here, I want to say for 8 years, there's so many good people here in Korea. So many.
There
First of
are.
all, the first one, I'm just sitting here. You know what I mean? So many. So we are not disregarding them.
Yes.
There's so many good people, and also I understand that there's a lack of understanding about racism
Yes, that
in
is
this
so
place.
true.
Yes.
Which is why I just wish Korea admits their fault on being, unaware or / ignorant about this racial difference and cultural difference.
Exactly.
And I wish there are actual school education subjects regarding racial discrimination, because actually Korea is starting to become more westernized.
Actually Korea, they're doing that right now. As I said, that I've been doing a lot of classes in elementary
No, but
school.
I want them to teach it like they
As a
teach.
class.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like they teach English.
Yeah.
Why do you teach a foreign language if you don't know nothing
Exactly,
about the people who speak
I
it?
wish it could be like as a subject that the
Yes.
Korean teacher they will teach about
Not something that you choose to learn if you major in something international.
it. One thing.
In college.
Yeah, one thing to confess, I said there's a lack of understanding about this. It's true even in my country. The lack of understanding, people, for example, if Sally goes there, people they call her Chinese. But
Been there.
if you do that, people they say you're racist. How can you just think that everybody is Chinese? That is a stereotype, and it's true. You are right. I mean, as an Asian, if you say that, you're right. But again, because of lack of understanding. But recently, of course, people they started to become aware about it, and even myself, every time I go there, I bring that awareness because that's the role that I play. I've been living here 8 years, and I'm Tanzania. I have to make sure that this place will live in harmony. And when I go back home, and my friends and everybody, I have to bring that awareness that no, guys, no, Korea is not China. Koreans are not China. The matter of the fact, they're very different.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to China, I've been to Japan, I'm living in Korea. I love Korea, and they're very different. I understand because I live here, but those people, they don't understand. So the same thing here in Korea. I understand that there might be people who don't know, don't understand. So what the government has to do, or what the society has to do, is to actually to teach about this. I've faced some incident in class, like teaching some students, and they're saying things like oh muso, like publicly, like these kids they're saying that is like elementary school. Oh muso, or you go to a kid, another kid begins to cry, and so I'm looking to the teacher. Yes, it happened to my friend GP. For me, they just say muso or something like that. And then you ask them that. I mean, some teacher, they ask them that. No, don't. Why muso? I ask them, and then they say they're talking about mom. No, my mom told me that black people are muso. They're scary. And then I'm like, no, wait a little bit. Mom said that. So you think about that and you say, okay, all right. Oh, so that's the reason why I need to be there to teach.
There's a saying in Korea where children are the mirrors of their parents. So the water flows from the top to the bottom. And where do you think those parents got those ideas from? Well, I think one of the most influential aspects would be the media. The entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Not Korea, but Hollywood.
Yeah.
How black people are criminals and they're drug dealers.
They see
Man,
so that's the only image that people they have when they look at the movies.
Based on that, they make a conclusion. Africans are scary. They are dangerous.
They're drug dealers. And that's the reason why I started Swahili Nation.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Why?
Guys,
because
he's the healthiest person I know.
To break down the stereotypes about us.
Yeah.
And if you wanna, actually guys, you just get to know us because we are very funny people. We are very good people. That's another actual stereotype. But we are very just good people. You know what I mean? And that's why I wanna reach out to people, because for me, I don't wanna fight with people.
Yeah.
If I tell you every single experience of racism I experienced, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, no. This is not my country. This is not what it is. No, but you know why I'm still happy and why I'm still here? I'm here because I wanna change that. Even if I change one person, it's fine, because you cannot run away from the problem. You have to face it. And I love this place. I love this country. I love Koreans. And because of that, I must be here. And I feel like this is the place where God wants me to be right now, for the reason like this, to do something like this, what I'm doing right now. We cannot, whatever that something wrong is happening and we're pointing out about that, it doesn't mean that we disregard every single good things that has happened.
Yeah.
Every single good Korean that are out there, or every single good thing that are doing. Man, I'm telling you, that's why we are still here.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I mean, think about it. The thing is, people tend to start blaming each other when they are both offended. It's like, oh, you're saying that? Well, you are like this. Like, for example, with Stan, it's like, oh, you're telling us about
That
it?
you did this.
You did this.
And
you
things
did
that
this,
they were even out of
yeah.
context, some of them.
Exactly.
So-
And then they frame him that, you know, oh, you're the one who's actually racist. Who are you to say that? But man, enough with the blaming. And if some of you that are watching this are offended, and hopefully not, you don't have to feel that way, because we're just straight up telling you the reality. This is how it is. And the ironic thing is, we live in the globalized society.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
isn't it so ironic how people say how our travels are very international, but our hearts are not international enough yet.
That's so
And
true.
that's okay. It's okay if you don't know. That's why you need to have an open mind and to be able to accept the fact that some things are okay and some things are not okay. That's why, you know, society keeps on changing. People keeps on changing. Therefore, we also need to keep up with the society's changes
Exactly.
and see what's okay or no okay. Okay or no okay.
I'm aware that not everyone would like this.
Yeah.
And that's okay, that's fine, because we're not doing this so that we may be liked or, you know, disliked, but we just want to portray or communicate and find a common ground that it's important for us to understand Korean culture. That's why when we come here, we had to learn Korean language, and now we understand Korean culture to some extent. And it's important as well for Korea to understand other culture, because when you're opening the door for other culture to come inside your country, then you have to make sure that you're creating room for that.
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like maybe it was too rushed, that there's no room for that. There's no acceptance of, you know, of who somebody are, who we really are. But I feel like there must be a room for that. There must be a room of acceptance, and there must be a room of willingness,
Yes.
a willingness to learn, and also to acknowledge when you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult to
It's
acknowledge
okay.
when you're
People
wrong.
are not perfect.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not that difficult to acknowledge when you're wrong, that, oh, it's true. Oh, we see the... And I hope government, after this incident, I hope government, they will find a solution. Because after this incident that happened, I hope for them to know that this is very offensive. And not only for black people who are living here, but black people around the world. And we know, we are living here in Korea, we know how good this country is.
Yeah.
We know how good these people are, and we don't want a bad image to be portrayed internationally to other countries, and that's why we have to talk about this. We have to talk about people. They were pissed off because he shared on his social media, but so many people shared about this even before him did. So many people have been talking about it. It was on the media. Everybody saw even before he shared, you know, these things. So people, they have to understand that we are saying this because we don't want people to look like that. These things, if they go outside, they will start pointing fingers at Korea, that, oh, look at this country is, you know, they're racist, Koreans, they're racist. But that's not how we see Korea, you know. I've been living here,
Yes.
even though I experienced that, but that's not how I see every single person I meet. I'm like, everywhere there's a racism, you know, everywhere in this country there's racism, but also there's ignorance about these certain things, lack of knowledge.
And as much as we love Korea, we have to point this out, because we love it, we have to.
You are Korean.
Yes.
She is Korean, by the way.
I am
By
Korean.
blood, by your corn, she is Korean.
Yes, by paper. But here, I've been exposed. The thing is, I just, you know, as much as I think it's, I don't know what to feel about my people, because sometimes I think they need to experience the tough racism, like how it feels like to be affected by racism. Just, you know, just go outside to another foreign
I
country.
think you experienced that.
I did experience it.
Oh,
and I did experience it, and the thing is, my parents.
Oh, now I understand. Now.
Yeah, but through my parents' occupation, because they were missionaries, so I exposed myself.
It's fine. It's fine.
So my parents were missionaries in Hungary, and so I got to see the Hungarians, the Gypsies, the Koreans living there, and I went to an international school there. There were so many Europeans from Poland, from Slovakia, Slovenia, Czech, Poland, Germany, UK, France. Oh my God! Okay, just
so you experienced.
Yes, I experienced, and I loved it.
You know how hard it is.
Yeah, and I loved it. And the thing is, there was this one incident. My dad was driving down, and then these group of Hungarian teenagers were like looking at me. I'm just like lying down on my dad's car at the back. I'm just like relaxing, chilling, and then these teenagers are like, "Ching chang chong, ching chang chong." So me, with my roughness, I literally give them the middle finger. Think about it. This young Asian girl. Someone says ching chang chong and looks over the car. And inside the car, I'm just doing the middle finger, and my dad drives away. I'm like, I'm badass. Like, but then now, since I'm an adult, I want to, of course, have this conversation with you guys.
Yeah. So in summary, you say you experienced this,
yes,
and you understand how. I mean, how can hurt somebody, and that's why you feel like you feel like everybody should experience that, to know that actually this is bad.
Sometimes I think, like, because I feel so topped up, I feel so frustrated, like I feel so caught up, like how do you say, like I feel like I'm being choked because of this incident, because so many incidents, small and big incidents like this in Korea, that I'm like, guys, come on, you have no idea how stressful it is to be judged by the color of your skin. You have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think if we're gonna wrap up, because we have been like talking about this like for an hour, and guys, we're open to your opinion.
Good luck editing.
Please share your opinion. You're positive. I'm actually just gonna upload as it is. Share your opinion, and about this particular issue. And again, please be careful of what you're sharing, because I don't want this to be a place to attack Korea, because
this is not an arena.
Yes, because this is not about that, but it's about bring awareness. So if you have anything that you know that it can help us understand, it can help our brothers and sisters from Korea understand that this is not how it's supposed to be done, then you can comment your thoughts. But if you just want to attack, of course you can attack me, it's fine. I've been attacked for a very long time, so I don't really care if people they attack. But then I think it's important to put the message out there.
And before we finish everything, please, if you are Asian and you feel so unjust, like unfair, that because there are people that are racist towards Asians, right? And you are one of them, but you have a different reaction than I do. Please think about what you can do instead of blaming back to those people. Think about the pain that you felt.
What would you have done?
Yeah.
If it's you, what would you do? That's a really good, like 욕치사지, in Korea say 욕치사지 생각해봐.
Think about it in another position.
Yeah. Like, be in that position. You're a minority. You are, and think about this. For him, Sam, he is a celebrity. He's like the most famous African guy in Korea, and he has just that. It's a pressure from African community here in Korea. This thing happened. I can imagine that a lot of people are asking, man, you are African, and why don't you talk about these things? So I can see that, even, of course, he said it from his heart, but I also can see that's why a lot of African people, they really supported him 100%, because they feel like, thank you for speaking for us, because if I speak about this, maybe nobody will know. But he spoke about it, and now it's a big topic, and now maybe this is the beginning. Actually, I see this in a good side, that it's the beginning of something good to happen.
Yeah, it's a growth pain.
Yes, excluding the attacks and everything that's going on Samo Chill, and I feel you, brother, and I hope that God will keep you safe. But excluding that, but I feel like this is the good place we are at. And instead of taking to the extreme side, I think we should take this as an opportunity to acknowledge our mistakes, to learn and to grow. This is a mistake. It was a mistake. Whether you know it or you don't know it, it was a mistake. And you have to know it, you have to acknowledge it, and you have to try to change. That's where we are standing.
Yeah. I still have hope and change, because
of
I mean,
course.
like I said earlier, people keep evolving. We make progress. We keep changing.
Yeah.
So I believe.
Yeah, guys, we really appreciate.
Change as well.
If you stay until the end, we appreciate. You know,
wow.
We're pretty much maybe having a follow-up video with this. You know, common ground. I mean, let us know in the comment section below. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, turn on the notification button, and we are open for conversation. So if you have anything that you have to share, just let us know in the comment below, and we'll talk about it maybe next time. You know what I mean? I appreciate God for stopping by. Until next time, Swahili Nation.
Swahili to the world.
Love and peace out.